Hey everybody, it is Wintermute coming to you from the think tank, and this is going to be a video in the Tech Talk series, kind of an addendum, because there's been kind of a rules update. And then after that, I'm going to give a quick channel update, just to let everybody know where things are at with the channel. Right off the bat, the issue with the tech, or the FAQ and the errata have come out recently. Well, they've been out, but they've been updated, bit by bit. And one of the things that come out of that is that the rules regarding strategic rockets have been overhauled, in that they are only they're only one use now, which drastically changes their cost benefit ratio, in my opinion. And they so if you haven't read it yet, basically they mechanically work exactly the same as they did before. But now they have said that they are one use only. So them being one use only is, it impacts what they're how they're going to be played in the game. And so if you look back at my other videos in the series, obviously I talk here and there about how this nation might be able to use them effectively, and this nation shouldn't bother, and so on and so forth. But now when you watch those, you'll have to kind of like, you know keep this video in the back of your mind, as kind of a modification to those other videos and how I see strategic rockets. Now I will eventually go back and probably update all those videos as time goes by. My opinion on certain techs for certain nations and their impact on the game might shift here and there. Um, and so, but this is a pretty big change, to this particular technology. So I felt like an addendum kind of added onto the end of the series at this point would be a good way to address it, and then kind of like, look back at my assessment in the other videos, and just kind of like know that that is different now because this rule has changed. So the way rockets, so the way, yeah, yeah. Like I said, they mechanically work the same in terms of D6, range 3, can't be shot down, attrition roll of 1 or 2, scores a hit. But the fact that they're one use now each I think that the cost is nowhere near as effective as the benefit before. Now, one thing, I mentioned this in one of my other videos when I was talking about strategic rockets, is I was told that in the final release of the rules, the cost would be reduced from 6 to 4. That never happened, and for whatever reason, I'm sure the play testers, or whoever decided, yeah, maybe the price point is fine where it's at, after some more assessment, and that's perfectly reasonable. So that's why I say that. But they're not worth that value. They're still worth 6. Um, now they certainly still have uses in the game. I do have a concern about how they can be used in the game, which I'll go into in a bit. But when one great way to use them is if you have a city physically surrounded with all the land zones around it, but it still has a active air base in it. So it's not surrounded. It still has all its defensive bonuses. So, if you have a strategic rocket in range, you can launch that rocket and deal that point of damage, even just 1 point of damage, and they can't shoot it down, to disable that airbase and officially have the city surrounded. And so it loses its bonuses and actually takes the penalty. So there's at least one example of where strategic rockets are strategically really useful. So that is still the case, and I'm sure there are other examples that could be pointed out where they would be very useful. Um, but other than a situation like that, their usefulness just doesn't seem as worth it anymore to me. Um, I do have one concern, that it could be looked at as a win more weapon, or a win more technology, because it's possible for one nation to kind of pull ahead from everybody else, get to the point where they start having disposable income, where they have income, they buy their units, they do what they want to, and then they're like, okay, well, what do I do with these extra, 15, 20 IPP that I have left. How do I want to use it? And so when they get to the point where they have disposable income, they could have strategic rockets, and they could start using them to kind of put a thumb over the other nations that they're fighting who don't have disposable income and is still fighting just to survive. Um, it's a concern now. Now, I'm not saying that that's going to be happen. Obviously, every game that's always a possibility. It's a concern, and maybe I'm overthinking it, and maybe and so I would like some feedback as to because I haven't had a chance to actually play test the revised strategic rocket rules, um, and so I would like to know if other people have had the chance to and how they feel about it, and maybe it's just fine. I will say this right now as it stands, me and my group are probably going to house rule strategic rockets because none of us were terribly thrilled with the revision. Um, for the reasons I've said before, I'm a little worried that they could be a win more weapon, and I just the cost benefit ratio is just kind of just really wasn't there for me. Um, but I will eventually do a series of videos about house rules, which I'll probably cover that. So I won't go into how we're going to possibly house rule it, and maybe we'll feel differently. Maybe once we have a chance to put it through its paces, we'll go, okay, it's fine like it is. We'll just have to adjust to it being not as potent as it was before, and that's okay. Sometimes you need to rebalance a game. Um, so that is that's basically that. I wanted to address that as part of the Tech Talk series. So with that out of the way, one thing I would like to do a quick channel update. So my health has been very poor of late, and I have been very exhausted and tired. It takes everything I got just to get through work, and then I get home, and the last thing I want to do is do some thinking heavy video. So with that said, I trying to post more videos, but if I'm not up for it, I'm just not going to do it because I'm not going to, like I've said before, I would rather do one really good video on a bi-weekly basis than five videos during the week. I'm not interested in just fluffing my channel with content after content, video after video after video, just to say, oh, I've got 1,000 videos. Whatever. I'd rather 100 videos of good quality content that people go, hey, that was a great video, rather than, yeah, I just put you on in the background and listen to you because, your videos are pretty good. I think each video should be impactful on its own merit. So I will be off work for 2 weeks coming up here because I have a surgery coming up in 2 weeks. So that might give me some time to get some videos done depending on how I'm doing as far as recovery and all that goes. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But so that's, it may actually be a while after this video before I post any other videos, just because I'm doing a lot before the surgery, and then who knows how long my recovery will be before I feel up to, obviously I shouldn't be doing anything major physical, but, this won't be so bad. But if I just don't have the energy for it, I'm not going to do it. So, that's where the channel is. That's why things are kind of moving slower than I would like them to, and that's kind of where we're at with things. I know there are other series. I need to complete a series, my nations video, and I want to do a house rule series. I also want to do a series about the state of gaming in general, and not just board gaming, but also kind of like RPGs, and even touch on some video game issues and just the state of gaming in general, and kind of thoughts and issues and things related to that I want to bring up and have a discussion about, or maybe even rant about a little. We'll just have to, depending on the issue, we'll just have to wait and see. So that, like I said, that's where things are. And for now, this is Wintermute signing off.